Okay, so today we are going to be learning about light and shadows. So, do you know anything about light and shadows? You can say yeah.
Not really.
Okay. So, today we're going to learn about how the light will make a shadow when an object is in front of it.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you see here that has a shadow to it right now? Like in this room, do you see a shadow? So, do you know what a shadow is?
No.
It's fine. So a shadow is a dark figure behind the object so the light is hitting the object, which makes a dark shadow that resembles the object.
Okay.
So what do you see here that has a dark shadow?
I see the floor right there with the sun coming in the window.
That's not a shadow, but good try. A shadow, so an example would be like, see the flag, there's a dark kind of block underneath it from the light. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this flashlight. So a flashlight can resemble the sun, it can resemble just a flashlight, and you see there is a flashlight on the wall, and if you put your hand on there, what do you see?
A shadow of my hand.
Of your hand, because why? Because the light from your hand is bouncing off and it's blocking, because your hand isn't transparent, it's blocking the light from hitting the wall. Okay, so what do you think would happen? So put your hand at the wall, or like a little up above. So do you see how it's not so big, kind of resembles the shape of your hand?
Yes.
Now get it closer to the light, See how
big
it gets?
Yeah.
So let's do separate objects that are in, actually one second. Okay, so I'm going to give him the flashlight and some objects that he can choose from. And I want you, just like how we did with our hand, is to put it on the wall. And these objects, I want you to tell me each one what you think is going to happen when you put it against the light. Is it going to be big, small? Is it going to look like the object? We have a big board, a soap, and some little nail polish. So I want you to predict what is going to happen.
I think this one right here will be the biggest when I put it up against the light.
Why is that?
Because it's the biggest object of them all.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I think I'm right.
Okay, yeah, okay.
The nail polish, I think that'll be the smallest one because it's the smallest object, which that's exactly what's happening.
But what would happen if you put it closer to the light?
If I put it closer to the light, it's going to become much bigger and it'll create a bigger shadow.
Jam?
With the Dawn dish soap, I'd say that is going to be the medium or the second biggest object.
So what do you see different from the rest of them with the Dawn dish soap?
It's somewhat transparent because it's a clear bottle.
Yes. And then the bottom is more opaque because there's fluid in it. Perfect. Okay, so now instead of doing the examples, I am going to have him draw some examples. So there is going to be a tree as an example, which you see right in front of us if you want to use that as an example. A person. And then let's do, what do you think would be a good one? Tree, person, and a foot. How about? Okay, so I want you to draw. I'll give you kind of like a corner for each. So what you would believe a tree would look like with a shadow on it. So you can draw. And then we do a person.
On the foot.
But I want you to not just draw the tree. Like, what would the shadow... So the tree, and then a shadow from the tree. Would it be small? Like, you can just shade it?
I think the shadow would be very big from the tree because it's the biggest... I think the shadow would be big, but since the tree isn't...
Keep thinking.
I don't know.
Okay, so if you look at the tree the trunk looks really big, but does the shadow look really thick? Or no?
No, because
No.
there's different limbs of the tree, and that allows light to get
And
through.
how far away is your light? You have to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, so to be skinny. Okay, what about a person? Would it kind of be the same concept? If you're standing outside, let's say. If you're standing outside and the light is far away, is your shadow going to be thick or thin?
I think it'd be somewhat in between.
Okay. Most of the time it'll be thin, just like the tree, because your light is so far away.
Okay.
Okay. What about a foot that's inside? If you put a light against your foot.
I think that'd probably be the biggest one because the light has nowhere to go through it.
Yep. Perfect. And then lastly, I just want you, when you think of shadows, like how we're kind of looking out here, like the house or the garage that's right over here. The garage can be small, but the light can be very long and big because of where the sun is hitting it. So when you go home, I want you to look out your window and see what type of lights make it, or what kind of, where your sun is and why the shadows are the way it is. And then maybe look at it in the morning and see how the shadow is different. Okay?
Okay.